All right, we're going for two. We're going for two. This one I know I can make it through. Hopefully I can stay the fuck awake, talk 20 minutes, and then upload whatever the fuck I need to do. I got work tomorrow, which I'm not looking forward to. Fucking party trays. Fucking this one has got me. This one's got me. You guys are gonna hear some shit. Okay, so the film I'm watching today is called The Slammin' Salmon. It's honestly, it's a movie I haven't seen in a while, but it is one of the best observations at making a comedy out of working in a restaurant. Waiting wins every fucking time. I can't find an angle to talk shit on waiting like I have a choice. Like, no, that movie fucking rules. It's just like it's good. It's funny. It's like if you've worked at a restaurant at all, from fucking being a hostess to a dishwasher, that movie will make you laugh. Same goes with this. I've been all over the fucking place with my culinary experience. I've actually been all over the fucking place just in general. I tend to have a thing where I go on vacation, and then every time I go on vacation, I end up working there. It's very weird. But, you know, it's taken me to some interesting places. Colorado, for example, I worked at a ski resort in a kitchen at a place called Endo's Adrenaline Cafe on Copper Mountain. It was weird, very fucking foreign to me, but you know what, I could fucking swing and they liked me because of it, and then, got into some shit with my girlfriend, had to leave. But it was pretty cool working on a ski resort. I got to see Lindsey Vonn in a hot tub, it was pretty neat. But, fucking, where else have I worked? I've worked in North Carolina. This guy, Jamie Adcox, shout out Jamie. He helped me open up, or fucking got that one fucking backwards already. This is what I get, going for two, full steam ahead. I'm already fucking shit up. All right, yeah, I helped Jamie open a kitchen called Oak and Dagger. I got hired off Craigslist, and me and him ended up being pretty tight. And we went a couple of fucking blocks down, a few blocks over. Opened up a different place called Brookside Pizza and Market, which now both of them are different things. And it sucks, but Jamie's a very skilled chef. I like, studying under his tutelage. I have improved vastly as a cuisine expert and fucking sous chef, whatever the fuck you want to call me. Since studying under him and doing everything, like, I feel like I have improved at this, and there's a reason I make the money I make doing what I do. So that being said, I fucking worked for Patton Caterers in Louisiana. I worked at a fucking chicken restaurant down there too for like 3 days. It's called fuck, I gotta bleep that. They're a chicken finger franchise that has a mascot that's a dog, and they're all over the place in the South and Ohio. And recently, Theo Vaughn had the owner of said franchise on his podcast. So if you have any fucking idea about it, like, that's who I worked for. One of the worst experiences, both of them in Louisiana. Fuck, I said it again. That place was like, I read a review of it on Green Door, and somebody said it was like the closest thing comparable to slavery they've ever experienced, and it was pretty fucking spot on. I've worked in a ton of places, but yeah, this one, I took 3 days, and I was like, yeah, fuck this. And they're like one of those weird cults where if you don't know any better, they kind of throw an arm around you and act like, oh yeah, we're a place of inclusion, and all this blah, 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 blah. It's like, yo, you guys are throwing out 20 to 30 pounds of chicken per shift because you don't have heating lamps. What the fuck? And yeah, and they made me wear Christmas attire in the middle of fucking I think it was like September. Yeah, it was very weird. Anyway, they're like, that place was whack. I worked for a caterer too. I'm not gonna say the name of them, but there is a stand-up comedian from New Orleans that has a family that has a catering company, so if you can figure out who that is, go for it. They were the spawn of fucking Satan. Roxanne, if you're listening to this, I doubt you are, but you're a fat fucking cunt, and I hope you fucking die in one of your stupid fucking Schaefer pans. You fucking piece of shit. Bitch made me use a deep fryer outside. That's like, they had a full kitchen that they had access to, and for some fucking reason they made them use a deep fryer outside, and it started raining, and then I got looked at like I had two heads when I was like, yeah, this doesn't seem safe, and they're like, oh, shut up about it, like, this is just how we do it. And it's like, yo, someone's gonna fucking die. I don't want to be a party to this. But yeah, you know what? I showed up. I made it work. I worked the 3 shifts I had to work. Got to meet a few PGA golfers. That was pretty cool because I worked the Zurich. That's like a golf tournament down there. Anyway, enough about that though. Like, so all the things that I've fucking done in kitchens, like I have enough fucking know-how to understand a thing or two. This is one of those movies where I love this movie because I've worked in, like, not borderline fine dining, but like white plate is the way that I usually explain it to people. Like, it's a little bit better than just like a chain restaurant, like, like a PF Chang's or like a Cheesecake Factory. Despite them having pretty good quality, I do like the Cheesecake Factory. But yeah, like it's just a little bit higher end than that, and like not fine dining, not like 7-8 course meals. I'm talking like white plate, just white plate. You get things temped, you get things like dressed adequately, a little bit of fucking plate art. They build up, they're smart, shit like that. So if you've ever worked like a slightly higher end, this film should really resonate with you. And it's like, it's fucking silly, and I fucking love it. But I just I've been having so much trouble at work, and I've been having so much trouble finding movies that I enjoyed. I completely forgot about this movie until somebody mentioned it the other day, and I was like, holy shit, I haven't seen that in like 5 years. And sure enough, it's on YouTube in its entirety. Thank God, Stora Masi, for putting this whole fucking thing on there. Hopefully I can watch the whole thing on here. I'm not even kidding. I might fall asleep in the middle of this, but like I've seen it enough times where I'll at least like fill you guys in on the back end. This is one of those movies where it's made by the people that did Super Troopers. The comedy group is called Broken Lizard, and I guess that's their production company too. So they make all these silly ass movies. And there's another one called Club Dread, which is pretty cool. Also resonates with me because I lived in a Club Med when I worked at Copper, even though it wasn't a Club Med anymore. They did try to have that like atmosphere though in the place. It was called The Edge. I lived in this place called The Edge. You can look it up. There's actually a Jim Carrey movie called The Copper Mountain Experience, where a lot of it was filmed in the Club Med, and that was where I lived. And me and my roommate John would shoot pool in the lobby of the place because they have a pool table down there, a big ass TV. We all watched the Super Bowl on that TV, and of course it was the year the Patriots beat the Seahawks, I think. Yeah, that was it. Or that pass that got broken up or whatever, it should have been ran. Yeah, that was a good one. And one Pats fan got like a bunch of shit thrown at him, but it was pretty fun. It was a good time. I don't know why I'm talking about any of this fucking shit. Slammin' Salmon. It's a really good fucking movie. I enjoy the fact that like it like I said, it's one of these things that I like drawing back to is that films that are written with experience come off as better just because they're written from a place of like having been there. It's genuine. There's a certain amount of punctuality to it because you know what the interesting, beefy parts of the story are. You can kind of omit the boring stuff. You don't have to concoct some like weird story around it. Like, this is just about one crazy night where a weird rich guy is trying to like entice you into fucking doing something, like working harder, and things start going off the rails. And I mean, we've had work bonuses at places I worked at, like, quota bonuses. We've also had like a quota bonus juxtaposed with like a holiday weekend. I keep going back to Copper, but yeah, like how many of the rooms out of how many available possible rooms there were that were filled. It was like this percentage. So if it was like 50%, half the resort was filled. 70%, 70% of the resort was filled. Something like that. So there would be like 93, 94, 98, 99, like shit like that. And then it's like, if you sell 3 of these in one weekend, like big ass bottle of champagne, it's like, we'll buy you a case of beer. Like, all right. I'm with it. But yeah, this is exactly about that. And just like after having so much fucking trouble at work, just people being demanding and treating my little fucking line like we can somehow produce a commercial amount of food. Like we only did like 90 covers tonight, but I mean, like, it's not much, but it's for 2 people in a fucking big ass kitchen. It's tiny when there's like all of us in there. But I don't know why I'm rambling about this anymore. I'm gonna get on the fucking movie and hopefully I'll have something more intelligent to say on the other side. Yeah, there we go. That's about right. All right. So without further ado, we got the Slammin' Salmon. Right the fuck on. Yeah, man, that was a great fucking movie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I fell asleep watching it, but I woke up this morning before work, fucking fired off the last 15 minutes where I fell asleep, and goddamn, that movie is fucking hilarious. I fucking love Broken Lizards. Their entire body of work, Beer Fest, fucking Super Troopers, fucking great one. It's Club Dread, every fucking one of them. Even Dukes of Hazzard, good remake. But yeah, like fucking they know how to be funny. Even Super Troopers 2, I found myself laughing pretty fucking hard at it, even upon the second viewing when I knew everything that was gonna happen. But like, yeah, it's like they're very good writers. They're very talented comedians. They're very well put together as an ensemble cast, and it really pays off. It really shows a passion, as well as like them taking it seriously enough for it to be an effective film, as well as them being loose and goofy enough to make it just marvelous and like very on the like very accurate to what it's like. And just like, I can't sing enough praises about this movie because it's so fucking funny. And in my opinion, I think it's just a little bit notched up a bit over Waiting. I don't think that like Waiting, I got no angle. Like I said, I love that movie. That movie is fucking hilarious. I wish they spent a little more time with the kitchen staff, because that's like, that's where I live. That's where my fucking work comes into play. But when push comes to shove, they do it like what's there is they do a fucking fantastic job with. It's funny, it's witty. If you've worked in a restaurant or probably even eaten at a restaurant, you can see the humor in it, and it's very accurate and funny and silly, but also played straight. It's not trying to be anything it's not. But that being said, it's like regarded as probably the service industry, like the most accurate movie that you can. So I'm gonna talk about Slam Salmon, obviously, because it's a great film. But I would like to draw attention to another movie that gets a lot of praise. And I know I talked about Jamie before. He's the reason I watched that Urge movie. He's a fucking amazing chef down in Raleigh. I forget what the name of his gastropub is, but he's got a place down there. Look him up. Jamie Adcox. He's a fucking phenomenal chef. This this is one of those films that he recommended to me, and I was like, "Is it just food porn?" And he's like, "Yeah, it is, but it's got a decent story." And I was like, all right, well, who's in it? He's like, well, Bradley Cooper's in it. I was like, all right, Bradley Cooper. He's a Philly fan. He's a pretty fucking down-to-earth guy, salt of the earth, kind of like a McConaughey. I think Rogan referred to McConaughey as like a whiskey philosopher or something like that, or a barroom philosopher or something to the effect of that. And yeah, like I kind of see Bradley Cooper being the same way. But Bradley Cooper was in this movie called Burnt. And it's not a comedy. It's a very straightforward film. And it's like a very artsy film about a dude who he's been trying to earn a Michelin star for a really long time. And as like his penance, he moves to Louisiana to go shuck a million oysters. And then once he's shucked a million oysters, he feels like he's given his like penance to, kind of go and try to get that Michelin star again. So this film is it's straight up hot garbage. And I mean, if you like food, if you're a foodie, it's like probably fucking like borderline pornographic, because it's just, it's all it is. It's just fucking food porn. It's 2 hours of a very, very, very loose plot based around a guy who just makes food, and food's his passion. And like, I get it, but food is not my passion. Nothing. I have like very few passions in life. Gambling, prostitutes, strippers, whatever, escorts. But, there's just like several things in life that I have like very niche things that I'm passionate about. I actually have a real passion too. Like I have a ton of hobbies and shit, but like, no, like I just like to make a point. It's like the furthest thing removed from where my like interest is. And that's all Burnt really is just food porn. Chef, the film, the Jon Favreau film, to a lesser extent, because at least Chef's entertaining, and that also is like an ensemble cast. Like just about everybody's in there. Probably one of my favorite Robert Downey Jr. roles. I know like the best is probably him in Tropic Thunder. Not even gonna fucking get into that right now. But he's just like a douchebag hypochondriac he plays like such a fucking perfect role in Chef that like I can't hate that movie, even though it is like like I said, like to a lesser extent, it's like a dialed back food porn, and the plot with the kid is just shoehorned the fuck in there. Like, hey, let him reconnect with his kid through food. It's like what your passion is. It's like, you kind of ran out of writing, with the diabolical fucking food reviewer guy. Like, it just kind of came off as like, all right, you got to fill some time to, get this thing over with. But it's funny, and it has its moments. It's charming. If you've worked in a kitchen or worked with your family for that matter, it's definitely on the spot on with that. But yeah, like I make those 2 points, or I bring those 2 films up. This is not about that. This film is one of those movies where it's just like Waiting. It's just there to be like, hey, if you do this job, like this is exactly what it's like, and here are some like highlights of like where the funny is in doing this crazy bizarre job. And you like working in a kitchen, or like in this case, like, waiting tables and working in a restaurant in any facet. You work around these chaotic people, and you work around like everybody's got a personality. Everybody does something. Everybody thinks that they're fucking funnier than they actually are. Case in point, myself. They're all just like, it's like cramming, they're not even alphas, but it's like cramming a bunch of like wannabe alpha personalities into a thing, because it's like ultimately you're waiting tables for a fucking reason. None of us are millionaires, or getting rich off of doing this soon, but like most of the time people do it because it's like they are down and out in life and need some kind of fucking income to justify doing whatever the fuck they're doing. Drugs, usually, like mostly drugs. But yeah, like it's just like you got like a weird melange of like desperate people willing to do just about anything for money. And if you're smart enough to like keep, prioritize things and like have a decent memory and remember people's names and their orders, and getting to know regulars, it's like you really can excel in it. Like, I was a bartender for a little while, and I was working at a bowling alley waiting tables and bartending and cooking and doing like general maintenance, not like a heavy stuff, but like, repairing the ever slightly, out of touch things that they had. But yeah, like it was like wearing a lot of hats, and in doing so, I was walking out, like I would work a Tuesday morning shift, and I'd walk out of there with like almost like $200. It's a fucking easy thing to do. Just be a personable person, and it makes you take home so much fucking money. But anyway, like it just, like I said, like working in a restaurant is one of those things where if you've never done it, I highly recommend you do it, just to kind of understand like how the sausage is made, literally and figuratively. Food, it's dirty, gritty work done by desperate people, and ultimately, I think Anthony Bourdain was the one that was coined with saying it, that working in a kitchen is like working on a pirate ship. It's like cramped, it's loud, it's vulgar, it's a bunch of disgusting things going on simultaneously that somehow make stuff that people pay a lot of money to do and go fucking bananas over when you make it look pretty. So that's where it's at. The Slam and Salmon sets this up perfectly, because it's like, I think I explained it pretty thoroughly in the beginning of this, but it's like, it's not fine dining, but it is white plate. It's like a place where celebrities frequent. It's just like kind of like every town has a place like that. Like in my town, Upper Township doesn't really have fine dining, but there's a couple of places that aren't too far away that are like they cater to a little more refined crowd. One of which that I can think of off the top of my head is the Anchorage, which it's a dive bar, but like it has like very fancy stuff. There's also Chef Vola's in Atlantic City. The establishment was fucking awesome. My neighbor actually was married to my other neighbor, and they opened a restaurant called The Establishment. But shout out Andrew, shout out Sarah. Now they're separated, and the restaurant does not fucking exist anymore, which I'm bummed about, because like when I actually really enjoyed going to this place, and it was like a refined food, but it was like refined food that like you would like slight twists and fusion that you wouldn't expect in a nice way. I don't really get excited over food, but I would get excited over going there because Andrew used to like buy me shots and shit. Fucking stand up fella. But yeah, like like every town has like one of these places where it's like somebody's birthday. All right, we're not going to fucking like the usual Greasy Spoon or the diner. We're going to this place. That's what the Slam and Salmon is. So they set it up fucking perfectly. It's understated, but like, dude, the opening interaction with fucking, I think his name's Kevin Heffernan. I know there's a John Heffernan that's also he does something, but it's different Heffernan. So Kevin, he's like a waiter, and the guy is like, yeah, make it fancy, like, you know. And he's like, yeah, tuna's a very delicate fish. And he's like, what, you think you're better than me? Fucking dude, that kills me. It's like every fucking like aside in this movie is just like so adept to like picking up the nuance of working in a restaurant. It's like it's so perfect. And then like he even gets comically like very cartoonish, like when the owner, who's played by Michael Clark Duncan, fucking rest in peace, man. He was a fucking hilarious actor. Like he was very serious. He was very good. He had range. But like this, it's like he's taking it seriously, he's playing it straight, but he's like very lighthearted, and he knows he's in on the joke. And it's like he's just playing this like, you know, boxer, like you know, retired boxer type character, like Mike Tyson or like a George Foreman, someone like that, where they're just like have taken on another enterprise, and because of that celebrity draw, that's kind of like what it is. There's always something like that. There's a fucking Tim Kerr real estate in Avalon 3 blocks away from where I fucking work. Tim Kerr was a hockey player. If you want to buy a fucking house off a hockey player, go for it. But like, I will never understand fucking why. I will never understand why you want to go to like some fucking Kickers dive bar or whatever just to get a picture with like him 30 years is fucking out of his prime. But like, people do it, and you know, it's a thing. It's like an attraction. It's a novelty to a certain extent, and like that comes through. Like even to the point where he like brings in a live fucking swordfish, which is fucking fucking got me so bad. The guy is played by fucking Will Forte's character, who's just like reading War and Peace. Everybody's got one lingerer every fucking day. We got this lady, actually Mary, that came in today, and she was there for like she opened a bottle of champagne that she brought herself because we're BYOB. Fucking just showed up and took up fucking space for 30 fucking straight hours today, and goddamn, it would have like it tickled me in the fucking perfect way. I cannot express how much like just recounting this fucking thing. Oh, and Jay Chandrasekhar, I believe he was the director of this film. If he wasn't, then he directed a lot of other movies. I know for a fact he directed Super Troopers and the Dukes of Hazzard movie, but he's in a lot of other shit. I thought he was in that Plan B movie, but that turns out to be not him, and I don't want to be like racist or anything, but it's a guy that looks like extremely similar to Jay Chandrasekhar. Like, I swear to God, I had to pause it and look it up. But yeah, like, I'm not being racist or anything. I just thought that was like bizarre, because I was like, oh, that could have given the film, like, you know, it's supposed to be a comedy, elevated a little bit, but no, they decided to pass on it and go with some other dude. But yeah, I like that his character is just like that wild card. Like in this case, it's like kind of going in the opposite direction. Normally, you have like cokeheads that you kind of need to like, yo, like, you know, settle back, get a shot, you know, relax a little bit. But like, you're fucking wired right now. People can see you grinding your teeth in the dining room, like, you know, shit like that. Everybody has somebody in the kitchen that is that person, or, you know, wait staff or whatever. In this case, it's like he kind of takes it in the opposite direction, which that's clever. And like, I don't know, like, obviously the last film I watched was Werner Herzog. I'm still hung up on that fucking sickle thing with the beheading, but in Rescue Dawn, you know, like I said, like I don't know how intentional that is, but like thinking about it, it was fucking hilarious, because he's got to take his drugs to level him out, but like they're in such a frantic like cell frenzy that they have to you have to ignore what's good for him and kind of like just make it work. And like, oh my fucking God, that's like fucking hilarious to me. It's like, you're like, you know, usually you need to like tell a waitress to go catch a smoke break, or like go smoke some pot behind the dumpster or something to the effect of that. But instead, like, no, they got to keep giving him fucking pills so he doesn't turn into Zongo. Sell people like 5 entrees. No, it's fucking hilarious. I don't know. Like I started this because I wanted to like kind of like the whole philosophy of this podcast was like to try and fucking challenge myself with films I wouldn't otherwise be seeing, or things I wouldn't like probably have found interest in, or like the idea is kind of to just see what what's available to me and like what I can watch and like just how I would take it in, like having the knowledge and I wouldn't say expertise. I'm not gonna toot my own horn that way, but I would like I'd say like I'm somewhat knowledgeable. I'm like at least a little bit more proficient than the average Joe when it comes to films. Like so, I like finding things and discovering something. Like I was pretty happy with that fucking Black Klansman movie. I haven't brought that up in like 3 episodes. Hustlers was a passable movie. It's like I was entertained at least, like I said. I like that's the idea. Like I want to find new things. I want to try to fucking maybe like with Rescue Dawn, try and give something I've already seen a second chance or like a fifth chance. One of these down the road is going to be me and Mark talking about Blade Runner because like it's got to happen. If you ever heard me and Mark talking, he's a broadcaster. He's done things like us talking exists on the internet before I started doing this dumb podcast. Please look it up. Mark and I talking about fucking whatever the fuck. I think we were talking about Valerian or something like that. But yeah, we need to discuss Blade Runner because it's one of the most entertaining fucking conversations you can sit on because I hate it. He loves it. The Denis Villeneuve Blade Runner 2049, which by the way, it's 610 day, even though I think it's supposed to be set in LA, so it would be American, so it would be June 10th. But it's people online speculating whether or not it's fucking October 6th because the rest of the world, does metric time. God damn, that was a far home run. Some fucking, I don't know, watching Boston, Toronto, and number 39 of Boston just put one over the fucking Green Monster in Fenway. Fenway. Yeah, it's Fenway Park. Christian Arroyo, third home run this season, but he fucking knocked the shit out of that thing. Anyway, so the reason I watched this movie was just I wanted to watch something that I otherwise or like I already knew I liked it. I found it on YouTube for free. It's a pirated version of it. It's on there for pay. You can probably find it on Prime for pay too. I know it's on Stars right now, but yeah, it's a fucking funny movie, and I just needed something to kind of like ground me because I think this podcast is going over pretty fucking well if I do say so myself. I'm gonna have to edit some shit out in the beginning. It's probably gonna take for fucking ever, but the this is just one of those movies that I'm really happy I have the access to because it's a funny fucking movie. And right now, people are so hung up on a lot of these fucking like Plan B is what. Fuck, I'm gonna give myself one of those. Good job, Mushmouth. I probably shouldn't be chewing gum on a podcast either, but you can go fuck yourself if you have a problem with it. Like, my house, my rules. You can chew as much gum as you want, especially when you're on mic. But what I'm seeing right now is like attempts at comedy. And even things that I used to think were funny are now I'm looking back and kind of being like, I would have just been a little young and naive. It's like I'm glad that people are at least making the effort and they're using real comedians and like the other one, the Urge movie, Nick Thune was in that one and he plays a fucking unhinged guy and I'm like, okay, like he's a comedian, why do you need to fucking have him as like a lunatic? But whatever, if that's your forte, whatever. This was like actual comedians that wrote a film that was actually fucking funny. And, like, it just needs to be that way. I'm not saying don't take a crack at, like, making something that's funny. In fact, there's a lot of movies that were made with, like, a dead-ass seriousness that's, like, very fucking funny to me. Case in point, I'll probably do this one in a couple of weeks, but, there's a Todd Phillips film, because Todd Phillips is, like, all of a sudden back in the fucking zeitgeist. A fellow that made Road Trip and, some other fucking film, the Hangover films. He made a movie when he was a student at NYU about Gigi Allen. And if you don't know who Gigi Allen is, pause this shit right now, pull up YouTube on another page, and just Google Gigi Allen. He made a film that was a documentary called Hated that is one of my favorite inadvertent comedies because it is a dead-ass serious documentary about this fucking punk rock carnival freak named fucking... I think his real name was like Jesus Christ Allen or something, but Gigi. Him and his crazy ass fucking band of lunatics, including his brother Merle Dino the Naked Drummer, and then rotating guitarists. I can't remember the dude that toured with them, but at one point it was Dee Ramone, who, the funniest fucking part, hands down, of that movie is Dee Ramone forgetting the name of the band that he's in. I don't want to blow the fucking scene for you, but I highly fucking recommend watching it, like, in its entirety, because you'll laugh your fucking dick off. It's just Dee Dee's getting interviewed. He's wearing glasses, clearly fucking, like, visibly high. And they're like, so what do you think about being in the Murder Junkies, which is, like, the name of the band? And he goes, oh, the Murder Junkies? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, well, I just thought it was called the G.G. Allen Band. Like, that is fucking hilarious. I don't care who you fucking are. That's funny. You're like, how do you not know the name of the goddamn band you're in? But I mean, he's a Ramone. He's probably fucking wasted when he agreed to be in there, and he quits the band like immediately after joining. Just get your hands on a copy of it or fucking pirate it, whatever the fuck you need to do. Watch Hated, and then listen to my fucking dumb podcast when I put one out about that. But yeah, I'm at 20 minutes. I got to play a poker tournament and put this bitch on the internet. But yeah, just comedians keep writing fucking movies, keep it above the belt but fucking hilarious like they did with this, and just, like, you know, use this as a benchmark for what funny is, and, like, just keep trying to hit these marks, and we'll have funny movies again. It doesn't all have to be this woke shit like Plan B, which, you know, I don't mind discussing wokeness. Like, you know, I get it, like, people want it, whatever. Just, you know, it ruins comedy, though. It's comedy cancer, and you need to fucking be able to say shit and do shit that's, like, real, but also not in this, like, bizarre paradigm of, like, needing to, like, I don't know, like, comedy's not supposed to be a TED Talk. Comedy's supposed to make you fucking laugh, and I'll leave it at that. Slam and Salmon, 10 out of fucking 10. Go pirate that shit on YouTube. Thank you. Good night.